Clayton Kershaw is one of the best pitchers of all time. He solidified himself as a Hall of Famer the moment he hit 10 years of Major League service time, which is the requirement amount of years you have to play to be put on the ballot. He's just incredible. Every single year from pretty much the moment he entered the league, Kershaw has been the most consistent pitcher. He never necessarily threw the hardest fastball, but none of that mattered. It was still a good fastball to go along with his filthy curveball, slider, and elite location. From 2009 through his 2018 season, so a 10-year stretch, Kershaw finished all 10 of those seasons with an ERA under 3, with 3 of those 10 seasons he had an ERA under 2. Overall, from 2009 through 2018, he pitched almost 2,000 innings, struck out over 2,100 hitters, all with a 2.29 ERA, winning 3 Cy Young Awards, finished top 3 in MVP voting in 6 of those years, while also winning an MVP award. It really doesn't get any more elite or better than that, just pure dominance. But really quick, consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content and haven't yet. Thank you. Since 2021, Kershaw unfortunately hasn't been able to make as many starts due to the injury issues. 2021 actually featured the first time in Clayton Kershaw's entire career that he would have to be put on the injured list because of an arm injury. So after averaging about 200 innings from 2009 through 2019, and I'm not factoring in 2020 for obvious reasons, Kershaw's average amount of innings has gone down significantly since 2021. Over these last 3 seasons, from 2021 through 2023, Kershaw has averaged 70 less innings per season than he did from 2009 through 2019. It sucks, and it's not ideal, but when he has pitched and made his starts over these last 3 years, he's still done his job, pitching to a 2.75 ERA overall. So he's still the man in LA, despite not being quite as reliable, so it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody when Kershaw got the nod to start Game 1 of the Dodgers' playoff run this year. Now, throughout his career, despite being acknowledged as one of, if not the best pitchers of all time, at least in the regular season, the reputation around Kershaw has also become one of a postseason choker, someone who isn't and hasn't ever been the same kind of pitcher when it comes to the playoffs. And as far as that statement alone, it's 1000% true. Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs is not the same guy from the regular season. He just hasn't ever truly been able to capture the insane dominance in October we've gotten used to over the years from April through September. But at the same time, is he truly that bad? Well, he's thrown over 190 innings in his postseason career, so a full season's worth of a sample size, and his ERA is 4.5. Obviously not anywhere close to the elite Clayton Kershaw, who's won 3 Cy Young Awards and an MVP award. That's a fact, but that doesn't necessarily mean he straight up sucks. His FIP, aka fielding independent pitching, which takes luck out of the equation, and is basically ERA if pitchers didn't get unlucky, is 3.81 for the playoffs. So right there, that tells us something. Does it say he's been elite in the playoffs? No, obviously, but he's been a little better than the surface numbers tell us. I think something, well actually I know something that's really hurt Kershaw's playoff reputation is when he decides to have some of his meltdowns on the mound. Fun fact, the first time I ever actually watched Kershaw pitch in the postseason was 2013. Game 6 against the Cardinals in St. Louis when the Dodgers were down 3-2 in the series. So obviously they needed a big time start by Kershaw, and he gave them anything but that, giving up 7 runs on 10 hits while also walking 2. The very next year against the same team, but this time the Dodgers being home, Kershaw had a 6-1 lead in the 6th inning and a 6-2 lead in the 7th, only to implode on the mound, give up a ton of runs, and the Cardinals ended up winning that game 10-9. Skip ahead to Game 4 of that same series, the Dodgers are down 2-1 in the best-of-5 series. Kershaw's back on the mound trying to force a Game 5 back at Dodger Stadium, and he was actually dealing with the Dodgers up 2-0 late in the game until he hung a curveball to Matt Adams, as the Cardinals ended up winning 3-2. 2017 featured him getting crushed by the Astros in Game 5, but we all know they had an illegal advantage, so you can't really blame Kersh for that. 2018, he wasn't that great. I mean, that's just been the trend for Kershaw in the playoffs. He's hit or miss. One game he's on, another he's off and implodes. He's just not nearly ever as consistent as he is in the regular season. In 2019, he came out of the bullpen in Game 5 of the NLDS against the Nationals at Dodger Stadium with a 3-1 lead, only to give up a home run to Anthony Rendon and then another to Juan Soto, tying things up as the Nats went on to win the game and end the Dodgers season. Since 2019, Kershaw has hasn't really had any bad playoff moments. He was really good in 2020, the year they won it all. Didn't pitch in the 2021 playoffs, pitched just one game in the 2022 playoffs, but wasn't that bad. So going into this latest start against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 1 of the 2023 playoffs, nobody honestly had any idea what to expect. Kershaw had a good regular season, although he didn't pitch as many innings as he'd prefer, and before the game, Dodgers manager Dave Roberts went on the record saying that this is as good as Kershaw has felt physically in the last couple of months. Even if that were true, though, and he was actually 110% healthy, he's still so hit or miss in the playoffs, so we never truly know what to expect. But what ended up happening in Game 1 was something nobody expected, because Kershaw went out there and not only was just bad, but he had the worst start of his entire career, not just postseason career. His entire 16-year big league career period. He gave up 6 runs and was only able to record a single out. 1 out. That's all he was able to get in a game the Dodgers would lose 11-2. Just devastating. And what made things worse was the talk surrounding Kershaw by the fans. Talk that this could potentially be the last we ever see Clayton Kershaw take the mound at Dodger Stadium, or perhaps take the mound anywhere. Kershaw has acknowledged this year that his future is uncertain, not just with the Dodgers, but in baseball. He knows he hasn't been able to last a full season in years. He mentioned how he now has 4 kids and a wife. There's just a lot of things at play here, and it very well could lead to Kershaw having to settle to play somewhere else on a likely 1-year deal, with retirement being just as much of a possibility. The idea of Clayton Kershaw not pitching for the Dodgers is scary enough on its own, but the idea of him retiring and not pitching at all, or the idea of his Dodger career and maybe MLB career ending on the saddest of notes like this cannot be how it ends. It just can't. I made sure to start this video off with all the positives, the historic seasons, the accolades, all the accomplishments, because at the end of the day, that's what Clayton Kershaw should forever be known for, and I think he will. Yeah, the topic of him not being the same in the postseason will always be brought up, but he's had enough good moments in the playoffs to show that he's actually not that bad, like I explained. But to end it off with not just the worst start of his career or the worst start in Dodgers postseason history, but maybe the worst start in postseason history, period? No, it just cannot end like this. Dave Roberts immediately backed up his guy after the game, claiming that Kershaw is going to start Game 4, saying that that's the best option and he sees it as the only option. He of course got clowned on by people for saying that, but as far as what I think, hats off to Dave Roberts. Is it going to be risky to throw Kershaw back out there after what we all just saw? Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, forget the numbers for a second. This is Clayton Kershaw, Dodger legend. You have no other choice than to put him out there to redeem himself. You have to forget the past, and that means forgetting the good stuff too. The good or the bad, none of that matters anymore. All that matters, at least to me and to Dave Roberts, is that you have to have trust and faith in Clayton Kershaw. But before that can even happen, the Dodgers need to get to a damn Game 4, as they went on to lose Game 2 on top of Game 1, losing both games at home and now head to Arizona down 0-2 to the Diamondbacks in the series. So unless you're a Diamondbacks fan or a Dodger hater, join me in prayer to the baseball gods that Clayton Kershaw's Dodger career or baseball career as a whole will not end like this. It can't end like this. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.